Okay, so let's have a look at the BGP peers between router 5 and upstream 3 and router 3 and peer 1. So between router 5 and upstream 3, here we have it. Well, first we have the interface. So the interface is enabled, we've got VLAN tagging on, we've got a VLAN ID on it, and of course we have IP version 4 and IP version 6. So this interface is quite happy to carry IP version 4 and version 6 on the data plane. Okay. So let's move up and let's have a look at the BGP. So we have two BGP groups here. The first group is upstream 3v4. We have a peer AS and we have a neighbor. And it's the neighbor that establishes the BGP relationship. And we have a peer AS for version 6 and we have a neighbor for version 6, which is the other end of this line. And so this upstream 3, we have two BGP sessions, one for version 4, one for version 6. We're able to carry both of the types of traffic in the data plane, and it's good to go. Okay, now let's have a look at router 3. So router 3 is connected to peer 1, and peer 1 has a restriction that we want a single BGP session. So let's have a look how this is configured. Well, first, of course, we need the VLAN tagging. We need to configure the unit and the VLAN ID, and then we have, as before, both an IP version 4 and an IP version 6 address. And this means that peer 1 to R3 can carry the data plane for version 4 and version 6 without any issue. However, we have a stipulation that it can only carry one session in the BGP, and both the V4 and the V6 routes need to go down that single session. So let's have a look how that configures. So here we are on the BGP, set protocol BGP. We've got a group which is P1, and of course we're multi-hop. Of course we're going to have to be resolving these V6 addresses. But basically, we have family INET unicast to move the V4 routes. We have family INET 6 unicast to effectively tunnel the V6 routes inside the V4 routing information. But of course, remember that the actual data is traveling native on the line. So we only have a single neighbor, which is to the V4. We have the peer AS. Okay, so what then happens? Well, as we know, those routes are going to arrive in BGP. BGP is going to be using a V4 mapped address. So what it's going to do is it's actually going to take the IP version 4 address. It's going to remove the leading zeros. They look a bit strange, but this is what it will look like. And this will be the next hop of the BGP routes. Of course, the data plane is going to have trouble with that because this IP address effectively doesn't exist. So we have a quick resolution here. Set policy options, policy statement, resolve V6, and from INET 6, from that IP address, or from that next hop, change it to the real IP version 6 next hop, which we do have and accept it. And that is the import resolve that we're putting on the BGP peer. We will also have a next hop self, because of course router 3 is heading down to router 5. And just a quick reminder there that this family INET 6 unicast is exactly what it looks like on the route reflector and on router 3 and router 4 heading across to 5 and 6. So there we have it. We have two pairs on upstream 3. We're going to have two on C1. We're going to have two on C1. We're going to have the single pair on the single BGP pair on peer 1.